What's going on, people? How y'all doing today?
What's happening, folks? What's happening?
This is straight man talking the man cave. I'm here with my homie, my brother from another mother, Big Lou. What's up, bro?
What's happening, everybody? It's good to see y'all back in the lab again. This Big Lou from Straight Black Coffee. You know how we talk. It's
Yes,
gonna
sir.
be all black coffee, no sugar, no cream, straight
No
talk.
sugar, no cream. And I'm Pastor J. We representing Shift Real Talk, where we keep it 100. So this is gonna be a 100th episode of Straight Man Talking the Man Cave, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And today's topic, we talking about this. You know, we gonna pull out what men talk about. You know, that's what we want to kind of help educate on. And what's been trending lately is the fact that we hear a lot of men say it's important that you live together before marriage. That is trending. I'm hearing some people say y'all need to live separately while you're married. But the trend here, yeah, Big Lou, they talk about living separately and you're married. But
wow.
see how backwards the world is? It's like live together before you get married and live separately while you're married. You know,
Ain't that something?
Come on,
that's
man.
That's this new world, bro. That's this new world.
What do we do with here, man? So listen, man. Let's talk about this, man. Let's delve into this, man, and see, you know, like what's your thoughts on it, man?
Well, I know a lot of people now, they want to do the live together to see if it work type stuff. And man, we're gonna just give it to you straight. There's a lot of things you could practice at that you could turn out to be good at. But I don't think practicing marriage helps the marriage be any better than what it was gonna be from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Like
because
what you said, man. I like what you said.
Yeah, dog. I mean, everybody start off in every relationship wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? The mask you walk around with every day. When you meet somebody new, or you on your job, whatever, it's like you putting on this mask. You're not really showing them the real you. And you'd be surprised how many people can do that for a pretty considerable amount of time. But one day, even if you practice with her before you marry her, you gonna show up, or she gonna show up. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide from yourself.
You can't hide from yourself. But I like what you said, man. You said you cannot practice marriage. You can't practice it. Because you know what happens? Man, we get with these people, and guess what happens? It may not work out. But now, because it may not work out, you done got stuck in a financial commitment with somebody you're not ready to commit to.
Right. You know, and then you got all this stuff together. You didn't basically common law yourself. So now you got to go through a divorce, and you ain't never really been married because you didn't you ain't do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think if you go on a deeper level, Pastor J, when you dating somebody, you courting somebody, you trying to get them your level best. You trying to show them your best you. You sweet, you courting, you calling, you texting. Remember back in the old days, we sleep on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody want to hang up type stuff. Absolutely. But I'm like, you that's not how the world really is. I mean, you could get with somebody and live with them, and this trial run stuff. There's people that have done that for 4 or 5 years. Then figured after one, get married, and then be getting a divorce in 2 years.
Absolutely. It's the thin line, because there's a real seriously blurred line between commitment and convenience. A lot of people get together really because this is a level of convenience. So that's when we go into practicing what marriage is. And that's not a good thing to do, because now what you're doing is now you're bringing a whole sinful situation into effect, and nothing blessed can come out of that, because biblically that's called shacking. And then if you're living together, of course you know what you're doing. It's way more than just bringing the bills together.
Oh, absolutely.
It's way more than just bringing the bills together. Now I gotta be honest here. I gotta be honest. I did that. I did it several times, but it was because I was afraid. I was literally afraid, man. You know, to really try to figure it out on my own because I felt like I would fall flat on my face. So I always wanted somebody there to help cover me for the things that I felt like I may have failed at, which is the wrong, especially for a man. That is the wrong attitude to go into a situation, with. What do you say about that, Big Lou?
I agree because we all carry, like I said, we all wear that mask, but at the same time, we all carry baggage. You know what I'm saying? From all of your relationships, all your good, your bad, your ugly, whatever, you're gonna come in with preconceived notions. You almost looking for this person to do what she did, you know what I'm saying, or do what he did. So if you're not, you have to be completely well and whole to step into a new relationship, man. Because other than that, you worrying about, am I gonna see the things I saw before? And that's why I mean, like I'm gonna speak on it. My first marriage, I'm on my second marriage. My second marriage is I know is ordained by God. We made 25 years.
Okay.
My first one was 5. I hope if the ex see the show, I hope she ain't tripping, but I'm gonna speak on that truth. You understand what I'm saying? But
straight real talk.
We did that, dog. We did the living together thing. You know what I'm saying? And we dated all through college. So it was like, we had spent a whole lot of time together. Yeah. But man, when you start living with somebody and that day to day and that how you pay bills and how you handle money versus how I handle money, and then the maturity levels come in, you know what I'm saying? Like, and trust, all kind of stuff like that. Man, it didn't work for us, man. It just didn't work. It was like we was playing marriage too early, and when we got in the game, we didn't know how to play for real.
Man. So, because we got to really understand this too, man. And I tell a lot of young men, man, I said, if you're not ready for a commitment, then don't change the commitment that is ordered by God for a lifestyle arrangement.
Right.
In other words, what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in a situation that really takes us out of alignment with God. Talking about we're trying to make life easier. That's an arrangement, and God ain't got nothing to do with that. And to be honest with you, I tell a lot of brothers this, and they come in the shop all the time. I'm like, dude, it'll never work because first and foremost, you're depending on you're allowing your fears to be the one that drive you to go put you in a situation that was never ordained. And because you do that, that's it. Now, what you're doing is, like you said earlier, you're practicing marriage. You can't practice this. Like we can't practice our salvation. It's either choose ye. That's why the Bible says, choose ye this day whom you will serve. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A couple of people coming in, tuning in. John Duda Jr., appreciate you, man. And my wife said, she says, when you play house, it's the way I do things versus how you do things. That's right. When you live with a couple, the two become one. Absolutely, man. That's how they say it. You're right. So, but still, before that, it's like you're still bringing you're crossing biblical boundaries when you're doing that, and that's never a good thing to do. To say, hey, we're gonna bring together this arrangement, and look, we're gonna just make it happen. Now you can make it happen, but it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So, what my question here is, what would you tell some young black, not even, I won't even say that, but what would you just tell some young brothers that may fall into this category? Because there's a lot of, I believe this is something that a lot of people have not just experienced, but they thinking about it. They want to try it. They want to see, because I hear them say, man, you got to test the milk before you drink it. You got to test the cow. You know what I'm saying? So what would you tell?
I was from that same fake truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm like you, Pastor Jay, but I'm a babe in this Christian world. So I'm definitely of the world. So I mean, like, I don't feel like you cannot practice it. It's not going to work for you. My whole deal is, I think if I was talking to some new brothers that was thinking about that, and if I'm moving in with you, I must be thinking about marrying. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be on that, because other than that, you just wasting time. You actually tying your money up. You tying your life up with somebody else. You crossing credit up. You know, it's all kind of stuff that's gonna get crossed up. Your feelings gonna get crossed up. But to me, the number one thing about the practice marriage is that you always in the back of your mind got that out. You know, you always got that out where you figure like, well, she get on my nerves, I could just leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't have to put up with her bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If the bullshit gets too heavy, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But when you married to somebody, you in it for the long haul, and you in it to make it work. You know what I'm saying? You have to practice that to make it work. You can't just move in. When you move in, it's all good, man. I'm telling you, for them first couple of months. And then, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 months in, y'all start having these little disagreements, these little skirmishes, but it's not ordained, it's not put together right. So it's not gonna stay right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody that made it like that. And when you don't have that, you don't have that bond that you're supposed to that you get when you married. And I know they, you know, there's plenty of brothers know me. So they know how I move, they know how I roll. But I just don't think that if you going down on this practice level, you're not committed. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know how we think, I know how I think. I'm not gonna sit up here and sit on no soapbox. And I've been married for 25 years. But I mean, they still got stuff out there that look good to me. I'm gonna always be a straight black coffee type person, bro. I'm not gonna come in here. I'm not gonna come on the cast and try to fake like I'm holier than thou. I'm not a pastor. You a pastor. You know what I'm saying? And I that's why I like spending time with you, because I'm trying to get some of that good stuff rub off on me, dog.
Hey, I'm gonna make sure I stay close to you, man, so that we can get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I still see, you know, you as a man, bro, as a man in a town like Houston, or a city like Houston. I mean, I'm calling it a town, but it seems so small, but it's huge. It's like so many people out there. You could trip and fall over something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I know I'm not gonna sit here like in my first marriage. We shacked up for a while. In my marriage to my wife right now, we didn't do that. And when we came together in a house. You know, I'm telling you, we bought a house, came together in the house, got married in the house, and we still in this house. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like that was just the best. That was the right way to go. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I say, boo.
Hey, it might be boring, bro.
I say boo. No, I'm talking about like to those who try to, especially young men. And let's be honest here. 9 times out of the 10, when you move in together, what is the situation or the scenario? The man is the one that is moving in with the girl.
Yeah.
You're already out of line, because he said, go and prepare the table. So he tells the man to prepare that you are the provider, you are the head. So you already done got out of your manship and you done demeaned yourself to go move in with somebody else. Now, you know what you do? You give up the authority, you give up the respect, you give up the things that come with the authority that you are supposed to walk in as a man by moving in. Because I rarely, 9 times out of the 10, it's a man moving in with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Right. Here's a comment from John. Let me read this. He said, setting key boundaries and expectations should be a prime example before going forward, and most important, respecting it. Exactly.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
He's on his game. Yeah, that's how it should be. If you gotta have those expectations, because if you don't, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. I mean, it's somebody gonna step over that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Boundaries and expectations. You got to have boundaries and expectations in your friendships. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like my homeboys, there's certain things that, you know, we do as men that's not going to really step on no toes. And then, you know, at the same time, once they step on your toes, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But in a friendship bond, I mean, not even dudes, men to men, they got boundaries, bro. There's only so much you could do before somebody get upset for real. You know what I'm saying? And I think John is headed in the right direction. I'm gonna still stand on. I'm not moving in. You know what I'm saying?
No. I mean, well, what we know now, because remember, And two, and the reason why we even having this conversation is because we were those guys that did it. We were young.
Oh, yeah.
There was a level of immaturity that we were dealing with at the time. So our job and our goal here is to just educate young men who are thinking about going into this situation. It doesn't work, man. It don't work. Because first of all, what you do is you create an emotional bond, and those emotional bonds create physically and spiritually complications that hinder the growth of the relationship. Because what you do is you go into these situations with levels of expectation. And the expectation is, okay, well, I need you to step up, or I need you to, you know what I'm saying? But really, we get in these situations and there's a level of lack. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of lack. And so we're looking for these voids to be filled. You know, we're looking for a shoulder to lean on. So we're moving in a level of comfortability, but what it never was for us to be comfortable. It's for us to God created, when he created us, he created us with the image of giving us everything that we need. He's given us authority. He's given us dominion. So what we're supposed to do as these men is take authority and take dominion and go replenish the earth. Take dominion over it. He's given us that authority. And a lot of times we give that up for a level of whatever it is, how we've been raised. Some of us come from situations where our fathers wasn't there. So and then we say, well, I didn't know how to be a man, or I don't know. If you don't know how to be a man, ain't no way you should even be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real tough.
My wife said, so why do some men act like something is wrong with the woman who sets her boundaries? Well, I don't think we have something wrong with the woman setting boundaries. It's just like what we was talking about yesterday, how when you got with us, you didn't have those boundaries. So now when you get with us and then you start changing and not liking what's going on in the relationship, now you setting boundaries. So it's like, wait a minute, you changed. You didn't come in with boundaries. We came in fancy free, foot loose and fancy free.
Yeah, and that's part of it too. I mean, all of this stuff got to be mapped out. If it's not mapped out, you know, that's why relationships are work, man. I mean, you know, like even, you know, I consider myself to have a good marriage, but you know, there's parts of my marriage that I think we need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm, you know, like when I met my wife, I was in the world. I was, you know, dating who I wanted to. I was divorced. You know what I'm saying? Going out with folks and having a good time. You know, now I had a decent rotation. You know what I'm saying? A decent rotation.
I think we all had that starting five.
And you know, and then I remember, you know, if let's get real, dog. I feel like I was sought after by my wife because I had a solid ass rotation. I felt like I think it was like it's a competition amongst women sometimes, and I think when she got the prize or she got me and I got her or whatever, and we started our life together, you know, we had good boundaries. When we said we was committed to each other, we got the boundaries all on the table. Everything was set out on the table. But I also, you know, it's a thin line because it seemed like when you have all that organization and all them boundaries, you know, this might be for some good man cave talk for some of these brothers. It seemed like things slow down. If I could put it properly, we ain't getting none. That's the whole. Let's just say what it is. It's not the same vigor. It's not the same, you know, whatever. Because you actually end up you can turn into just like a couple that's cohabitating that know how to run a business together. Like the marriage is a business. We saving enough money to retire. We doing this and that. We can buy these things, buy those things, travel, do stuff like that. But what happened to all that cool, fun stuff that you was doing in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like the brothers need to wait. Marry the chick, get in the house, and learn how to do all that stuff together. Because when you start off with that, if you move in early, I guarantee you it's gonna be some boredom going on. Because part of life is just, you know, reset, repeat. Especially if y'all both working, y'all both need to be working. You know what I'm saying? So every morning, y'all, you kiss her on the forehead, kiss her on the lips, whatever. Bye, baby, I love you. You going to work, she going to work. Come back home, y'all got to eat, shower, repeat. If they don't have no fun stuff in the middle of that, or that fun stuff that used to go on after that shower, then it's just monotonous, bro. You find yourself 5 years down the line bullshitting. You know what I'm saying?
You said earlier, you said marriage is work. What I say is marriage is alignment. It only becomes work when you're not aligned. It's a lot of times people are out of order. And when you are out of order, then that's when it becomes work. But God didn't design marriage for work. He designed marriage for purpose. So purpose is never work. It's just lining up with what it's supposed to be so that it could be a flow instead of a job. And we make it a job, like I said, because we're out of order. Or the woman is the one taking care of everything. And it's not even the fact that, let's say, for instance, you have a situation where a wife is making more money. That still don't make her the head. That's, you know what I'm saying? You are still the head. Because the head of every man is God. The head of every woman is man. It ain't because she making more money it puts her over you, and that's not how it works. But sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? So it causes work because now.
And you preaching, that's my life, bro. I mean, I work in a high school. My wife is a physician. I'm not gonna make that kind of money. But at the same time,
you are still the head.
Oh, absolutely. And not by force or nothing like that. I'm married, I'm married the right person. So, like we follow the order of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And for one, that also helped me because God put me in cahoots with a woman who was Christian 100. She was already in.
She's a powerful woman of God, man.
Yeah, I was literally jealous of her relationship with God because mine wasn't where it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working on getting mine up there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dedicated to it every day. And that's what I'm working on now. And, I feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? I love being involved in the church. I love working at my church. I have a purpose in the church now. And that's what got me connected. Other than that, bro, I was just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we connected, man. So I can make sure that you get lined up with the purpose so you can get more than just you can walk more in your purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
My wife said this. She said, a man is a hunter. So when you get me, I still want to be the hunt and the chase. Okay, all right. That's true though. But and that goes back to what I was gonna say.
But don't they go both ways though? Don't they go both ways though?
Because he said, he that findeth the wife findeth the good thing and obtaineth favor. So he gives the responsibility to the man to find his bride. So she's supposed to be found.
Well, when you find her though, ain't she supposed to reciprocate when you find her?
Well, I mean, she's gonna fall in line if you come in behind God's ear to go find her. You know what I'm saying? She's actually there ready for you to take her with open arms. But it's just that at the method that we do to go get her. Some of us are not. You my girl. I've seen some people go to a woman and say, "Yo, give me your number. Give me your number." And it's like, what? This we talk.
I mean, I know we the hunter or whatever, but I think that when you find your prey, since we're gonna stay on this hunter gatherer type thing, I need the prey to act up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gotta have. I need the prey to act up because if I gotta pursue all the time, they get boring to me. So I need some action. You know what I'm saying? They gotta go both ways.
Wait a minute, Big Lou. What kind of action you need, man?
Bruh, you know what kind of action I'm talking about, dog. I'm the type of man I need to get it in, and I'm not talking about no. We gonna get real on here. We're gonna get real on here. I'm not about the straight up marriage sex. I'm not about that. I'm not about coming home and I'm in the mood. You kind of in the mood. Don't lay on your back and throw your legs up, bro. That's boring, dog. I'm not with that. I need the whole shebang.
You set the tone.
Set the tone. The tone is set. If all you got to do is drop something, the tone is already set. You know what I'm saying?
But that must mean you set the tone during the day. You know, you come through and you call, hey, babe, I was thinking about you. Hey, listen, you know what I mean? I'm gonna bring you some flowers or whatever. So that set the tone. So now when you done made love to her here, she's ready. She is ready. But you know, actually that part of the intimacy is really the result of the intimacy that you put in before then. So if you put in the work before then,
I'm with you though, but don't you want to just like come home and get the hot freaky when you get there? Just walk in the house and just be like ravaged. You know what I'm saying?
The bed is undefiled. That's what especially if that's your wife. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to do that.
Well, I'm with that, but it's like, you know, I'm not saying, I can't really say that in the pre-marriage stuff, it seemed like that'd be 100 until you put that ring on. And when you put that ring on, then things start easing back and getting these normal
do the same stuff that you did. That you know what? That's a good, because that happens a lot too. It's like the things that you did before.
I'm a real person. This is straight black coffee. Pour it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what's really going on. And I'm telling you, I got a hell of a marriage. I got a real good marriage. But I know this is what's going on because it's too many people out here that's coming to me with that. You know what I'm saying? They got dudes that's doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But this hunter approach that we gotta go, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, man, that's boring after a while, man. You want to be pursued after a while, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be mutual. I need energy, bro. I need energy. Energy begets energy. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at.
You ready to blow up.
If the energy right. If the energy ain't right, then I could care less. You know what I'm saying?
So I guess that goes with, here's the thing too. Going back, like I hear, like I said, there's a saying that everybody says, you know, it's better to test the milk or test the cow or buy, you know, before you buy the whole cow. In other words, you need to test it to make sure that it works. And a lot of times, again, we stay in testing because when you go into it, because you're going to always go into a relationship, how are you going to stay in a relationship? So if you go in testing, then the test is going to be always given while you're in the relationship because you went in testing. You know what I'm saying? So you really go in with a level of or a mindset of commitment. So if you go with commitment, then you won't be testing. You'll be looking for, hey, let's bring this thing together. But if you started out testing, then this test is going to be, you're going to be grading on this test. You're going to become the teacher. And that's it. Now we're talking about a boring relationship because you look in the test and you want to make sure this person passed the test all the time, and which is wrong, and the wrong mentality to go into a relationship before you get married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely wrong, but it's wrong in the relationship before you get married. But hell, I mean, it could be like that after you marry. It's just like to me, it's like that slow down or whatever after them years or whatever, bro. Like, you know, I'm just not for it. I think that, and I don't know why it happens, to be honest with you. Like I done talked to brothers that was older than me that say, man, you gotta keep the fire lit or whatever like that. And I'm like, bro, I don't have to chop all the wood though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's gotta be, you know, I think maybe because people like you, I'm gonna go back to what you said. I'm gonna put on a little bit of my Christian hat. If you practicing all of this beforehand, maybe that's why it burned out. You know what I'm saying? Like the candle burned out because you've been doing all of this pre-practicing. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes down to the lean times or the tough times, you frustrated because you done burned it out all in the first, you know, the 3 years where you wasn't married, then the 2 years that you was living together, and now you living together, and it was all great when you got the house and you was trying to christen every room in the house. And now, you know, you've been in there a good 15, 18, 20 years, and it's, you know, it seemed like it's not the same no more. You know what I'm saying? The love is there, but that part ain't. And to me, sex is like eating, bro. If I'm not I'm not eating, I'm pissed off all the time. And I mean, that's kind of life, bro. You know what I mean?
But listen,
and
y'all,
when you talk to cats that's older than us, bro, older than me, they be like, "Oh, that's just how it is." Man,
yeah,
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't like that.
yeah.
It can't. It's not just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Biblical dudes was having kids when they were 700 years old, dog. I don't want to have no kids. I just want to practice.
God, a lot of them, they were hard for them to have it until God blessed the womb. So until God opened the womb, a lot of them were not even able to have it. Like Abraham and Sarah. Sarah, she couldn't have kids, but God blessed her womb so that she can have it. So this made her have it at 75. But when God did that, it was a purpose that He gave, because He used Abraham's seed to now replenish the nation. So replenish the nation came from Sarah's womb because He blessed her womb. So that's what that was. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, y'all, man, this is Man Talking the Man Cave. This is, this is our first episode. We putting this thing together. You're going to hear more from us. You know what I'm saying? This is my boy, Big Lou. I was so glad that I met him. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be coming with some straight black coffee and some straight real talk. Y'all tune in with us. We're going to probably be going live on Wednesdays, and probably, hey, look, we don't know when we're going to go live, tell you the truth, but listen, just tune in with us. Just know you will get the notification. So subscribe, and saying we'll keep y'all posted of what we're doing. We're going to be posting little stuff. So we just appreciate y'all even tuning in with us right now. This is our first go, but Man Talking the Man Cave, man, this is what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And look, we're gonna sign anything you want to say, telling them as we go out, Big Lou.
Yeah, man. I want to make sure that we cover all of our topics that we put up for y'all, and we kind of the yin and yang of this group. I'm not a pastor. You know what I'm saying? I am pouring that straight black coffee, but I just want to. I'm striving to be a better man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm trash, but I mean, I want to be a good dude, but I want, I'm gonna test the waters. Like we're gonna have both sides. We're gonna have the positive and the negative, and we want to make sure we catch everybody. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna grow this thing together, not just me and Pastor Jay. It's with all of us. And this man cave ain't just for men. Women need to come in and listen to this man cave too, because I don't want you to fall in the same potholes that we fell in. Definitely don't want the brothers to step in the same pothole, but women, y'all got potholes that y'all fall in all the time too. So we're trying to make sure that, we keep everybody aware. I'm not an expert at this. I'm just experienced. You know what I'm saying?
And that's an experience, they say, is the best teacher.
Yes, sir.
So that's all it needs, man. But with that being said, y'all, I'm your boy, Pastor Jay.
And this is Big Lou from Straight Black Coffee.
Straight Black Coffee, y'all. We signing out, y'all. Until the next time. Peace, y'all.
See you.